meet you guys. I will be talking about the big dive or change from a technical trainer to product owner. I am a scuba diver, so there are going to be a lot of scuba analogies. Um, and that's why I decided to call it the big dive because it was quite a big career change. And you can see you're going to be seeing a lot of those jumps or fish analogies. Um, so just a second. Before I begin, I wanted to ask you how many of you have graduated the university and do the job they studied for? Okay, well, uh, this is a school of ego, right? So that's why it made me think of schools because I don't do the job I studied for. I graduated as an industrial engineer and studied mathematics and physics. And then I was doing training for almost 15 years. And now I am a product owner. Postgrad. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let me start this video for you. So I used to be a trainer. I used to travel the world. I used to be in a different country every week, different continent often. And it was amazing. I learned a lot. I saw a lot of different places, met a lot of different people. I learned a lot. It was a great experience traveling between Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. But then while I was traveling and as the years started to pile and the adrenaline started to go down a little bit, I started to feel the need for change. And I wasn't sure what to do though. I wasn't sure where I was supposed to go. And a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, when I was in Spain, Valladolid, and when I was packing my suitcase for probably a thousandth time, I realized that I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't pack that suitcase for a thousand and first time. The next day, who characterized COVID-19 as a pandemic. And as much as it was shocking to see Madrid and the whole world being shut down, I had to admit it was also a relief for me to go back home and relax and start teaching online. And so I never had to pack up that suitcase again, not for work, just for diving trips. And I was feeling quite relaxed, but then again, I wasn't feeling quite complete. I was happy with the company, with my colleagues, with the culture we have here, but I didn't feel like I was really developing my potential and using my potential. So I really needed to find something to make me feel more alive. By the way, I'm not sure that you see the video, if it's frozen or now it started moving. Okay, just to give you an idea of the crazy trips and places that I've been all over the world. Cool, awesome. Okay. So then, when I was a bit lost and not knowing what to do, I had a conversation with my manager number 6 at that time, who was a short blonde that seemed quite inoffensive, but then would later learn that she was very strong leader and was very nurturing and supportive to her people. So I had a conversation with her when she insisted that we work on my development plan. And I was a bit annoyed because I always saw that as a formality and something that we had to sign and say, okay, we've completed the development plan. So I said to her, well, it's okay. I've been a trainer for 15 years. I've been to so many different workshops and seminars. I've gotten so much feedback. I don't think that if I went to just another presentation workshop, that would change a lot for me. That's not what I need. And she kept insisted on working with me on that, and she kept coming with ideas. And I kept rejecting, and then in the end she said, how about we try to do an internship? How about you take a look at other departments in Milestone and see a position that you might like in a department that you might like, and you try to we speak to the manager and with the manager, and you join there for whatever time you need, however you feel it's appropriate, 2 weeks or month or 2 months together, or separate, however you decide. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea, and I went home and I slept on it. And on the next day when I woke up, I remember about another conversation I had had a couple of years before that with another friend of mine and a colleague. Again, at the moment when I was feeling puzzled about what I would do in the future. And he said to me, well, Jerry, I think you would be a great product owner. You know the customers, you see them every day, you work with them every day, you know their pain, you know what makes them happy, what change they need. So you know what kind of problems they have. So it would be a great help to us in software development if you could work with us to help us build a better product. And I was honestly, I was was very surprised because it had never occurred to me. I didn't even know what product owner was and that such position existed at the time. And I hadn't realized the treasure I was keeping inside me from all those years teaching, traveling, and teaching our partners all across the world. And then I decided, well, I asked him what I should do, and he said, well, you need to learn about Agile and Scrum. And I signed up for my first Agile practitioner course. And it was great, and I did it. But then again, I continued traveling, so adrenaline picked up again, and I kind of forgot about it until I had that conversation with my manager number 6. Um, and to go back to her, I went back to her and I said, look, I know what I want to do. I want to try this internship in software development and see if I actually like it for myself. So she was surprised, and she was very happy to hear that I knew what I wanted to try out. And I just wanted to say, I guess, from this first part that it's okay. It's okay to feel stuck sometime. It's okay not to feel in the right place, in the right position. Maybe if you're just feeling stuck, if you're working or if you're looking for a job. But what was important for me in those moments was to be honest with myself first and to admit to myself that I needed to make a change and not just to settle and accept the position that I was in. And then I wanted to stress how important it is to look out and speak to your manager, friends, colleagues, people who you look up to, people who you would call for advice, people that you want to be in one way or another. Um, those kind of people we usually call leaders, and they're everywhere among us. And as long as we reach out, we never know what could be born in a conversation. And I did that, and if it weren't for those conversations, I wouldn't have been in the position that I'm at. I did the internship. I worked with the other product owners. I looked at what is included in their position, what kind of decisions they had to make, how they try to keep the focus on the team, on what's important, in order to build a product that fulfill the vision of the product owner. And that is why I wanted to also say that we need to sometimes look at the success stories. What is this in the picture? This is a very healthy coral with some fish around it, probably a shark underneath. So look for those success stories. Talk to people who are in the same position as the one that you want to be in. Do interviews with them, connect with other professionals over different platforms, and maybe ask them if they know you, what kind of qualities they think you have that might be useful for this position. So that would be a good start. And then, of course, ask them what you need to learn, where you need to start. This is one of my favorite marble rays. The marble rays and all the rays, they hide under the sand to look for prey or to protect themselves. So I was watching how the mother was teaching its children to hide in the sand. And it's okay to learn. Just because we're not children anymore doesn't mean that we need to stop and that we should be stuck in a place where we don't feel we belong, place or a position, as I said. So when you want to create that learning path, my advice is to again ask your peers, ask your managers, figure out what you need to learn, sign up for some courses, start with some introductory courses. There are a lot of introductory courses, free introductory courses online, and there are different platforms that if you like the platform, then you can sign up. I have given here some examples: Udemy, Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, Pluralsight, CBT Nuggets, Grow, Google, and of course the masterclass, depending on the area that you want to develop in. So it is okay to reach out for help and to start exploring. What I did after that was I signed up for a lot of the Pluralsight courses before I got to the official certification, and that helped me to be prepared. And I didn't know when an actual position was going to open, but it did eventually while I was on a vacation, diving vacation. After a day of a lot of diving with a lot of sharks, I received an email that they were looking here internally for another product owner. And what is happening today is that I manage the work of about 20 people, developers, quality assurance engineers, and UX designers. We have managed to improve our agile practices, and we have done a couple of large releases together. Most people come to me and say that just ask me, what do you want to do next? What is next? What do you want? What do you want? They are feeling very happy and confident to follow and to work together to complete our vision. And this is one of the best part that I appreciate a lot right now, and it's definitely it definitely took me to a more interesting and fulfilling place than I used to be. And about um, about being successful and nurturing your relationships, I believe that in order to be successful, you need to nurture those relationships. So until I get a moment where people can come to me and say, look, if you explain it to us, if you say this is like this and this is like that, we trust you because we know you know the product and you know the perspective from the user. So that is very important to be successful, to nurture those relationships, keep your knowledge fresh always, and be a leader. Ask people what they need, ask people what bothers them, what blocks them, and this way, hopefully, you can build a great relationship together. And last but not least, don't be afraid to be a leader. I'm in an informal leadership position now, but if it weren't for that, I believe that again I wouldn't have been successful in the position that I am in right now. Marcus Aurelius says that when we are leading, we should begin by leading ourselves first. Start with self-leadership, self-awareness, self-reflection, and I believe that if we want people to follow us and work with us to fulfill our vision, we definitely need to start with ourselves. And if we're stuck in a position or a company or out of job, we are the ones responsible to grab ourselves by the hand and ask ourselves, what do you need? What do you need to study? I will help you out. I will prepare and make sure that you receive the right education, boost, conversation, interviews, whatever you need to get to where you want to be.